Welcome to Top Deck Therapy,
the Magic the Gathering podcast, where we break down the plays we make, the mistakes we learn from, and the mindset that shapes better games.
Have a seat, relax, and let's dive in. Welcome back to Top Deck Therapy. We got a spicy one today. Today we're going to open up a can of worms bigger than a turn one Soul Ring. And today we brought in a handsome man. We've talked about him before on the show. We have Glover here.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you having me.
We're excited to have you here. We got a special one today because we're going to talk about Universes Beyond. UB sets. Do you think it's saving Magic or is it selling out? I have mixed opinions on this because when we first just started talking about this, I was very much like, they're selling out.
Yeah.
And now, I don't know. We'll talk about it. So, why don't we just go right into just, Glover telling us or telling our listeners a little bit about yourself. When did you start playing Magic and all those good things, and let the listeners get to know you.
All right. So I'm going to date myself a little bit here. I started playing 1994. I was a freshman in high school and had a friend just hand me a few cards and they're like, "Hey, have you seen this new game?" And I'm like, I was just a poor, I grew up pretty poor. So I was a kid that like didn't have a lot of money for things like that. And I was like, oh, these are super cool. And all of the books that I read were sci-fi fantasy type of stuff. I was obsessed with like David Eddings and Terry Goodkind and all of those authors, right? So they wrote about the same stuff I was seeing on these cards that they got handed to me, and quickly became pretty enraptured with it, pretty excited about the game. And there was a group of people that would play in the library in my high school at lunchtime, and I went in there and would just watch them play because I didn't have enough cards to make a deck or anything. And that was 60 card format, right? The OG format. And it was interesting too, because I know a lot of folks see that as a one-on-one format, but we actually, that group would play with 4 to 6, sometimes up to 8 people all in one game, right? So they played in like a commander format, but on 60 card decks.
That sounds like a good time.
So what you're saying is you invented the format.
I don't know that I would go that far. I was purely an observer for a long time, but as I got into working a little bit and earned some money for myself, I would spend most of that on buying packs of Fallen Empires and Revised, and because you could pick them up for like $3, I think at the time, maybe, which makes my heart hurt a little bit now in my pocket too.
Yeah,
mine too.
The inflation is real.
Can we go back, please, Wizards?
Time machine. We need a time machine.
Yeah. But yeah. And then like, I don't know, over the years had kind of maintained a collection, had come up on some cool cards. And then somewhere in like 2007, 2008, I had moved to Buffalo. I grew up in New York. So I had moved to Buffalo. My brother had moved out there, and we're like, you know what? We don't play anymore. I don't see this going anywhere. We sold all our cards, right? So it had like Juzam Jin and sold that. I think I got $80 for it.
Dagger.
Yep.
So, but yeah, we sold our cards, and that was that. And we pursuing other things like beer and ladies for the most part, and doing our thing. And then, I don't know, probably somewhere almost 4 years ago, kind of got the itch, had heard, I knew that, that Juice that you had played, and, had kind of got the itch. And I'm like, man, I really miss playing that, and heard about this new commander format. I'm like, I don't know what that is, but I had also seen that there was a Lord of the Rings set coming out. So you talk about UB, and there it is. That was not single-handedly, but pretty close what hooked me back into Magic, purely from a collection standpoint. And then from there, getting linked up with the pod and, getting linked up with some of the stores in the area, some of the LGS, and just really seeing that the game had gone from super cool, in my opinion. Loved the OG art, loved a lot of that. But then really had just exploded. There was the cards were so much more beautiful and so much more complex and so much more this and so much more that, right? Which I think rolls heavily into what we're going to talk about some with the UB, like just the so much more idea. But yeah, Lord of the Rings hooked me hard, man. And I would be ashamed to put a number on what I spent on that. But um, for me, it was also like I make decent money now, and I'm not a broke kid anymore that can't afford to buy the cards that I want and have the collection that I want. So my hard work is going to go towards something that I take a lot of joy in. And so I've built a really nice collection afterwards. Um, and you know, a lot of that is from Lord of the Rings and some of the universes beyond sets.
And I love your story, man. Like I remember Glover and I and Andrew actually all used to work together. And then, over the years we've gone our separate ways, but we've stayed in touch. And Magic's a huge reason why um, we've all stayed close, right? Like,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I mean, for the longest time, I had no idea Glover played Magic, even though like I saw him every day. And then all of a sudden, it's one of those things, right? Like where you just don't really talk about it like out loud. And I don't know why. I'm not embarrassed of it, but
Right.
it's like you just don't talk about it. And then it finally comes out, and you're like, "Wait, you play Magic?"
And then
It's
you
almost
talk about it
Did we
nonstop.
just become?
yeah,
Yeah,
it's almost like a
yeah.
shock
Did we
factor.
just become best friends?
Oh,
Right.
100%,
Yeah.
100%. And I remember Glover just being so passionate about Lord of the Rings, and I love the books and I love the movies, and I just was never like when I saw the UB set coming out, I was like, okay, they're like, using other people's stuff, right? Like,
Yeah.
okay, they're drawing me in a different way. I wasn't against it. I mean, I understood, because I mean, before with UBs, that wasn't the first set, right? They used to have secret layers, right? Like The Walking Dead. That secret layer came out, and I was like, man, I love The Walking Dead. I think there was like 5 or 6 cards in it. That was it. I was like, okay, I could, I can use these as commanders. Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But then, like, Baldur's Gate and Lord of the Rings came out with full sets, right? And like, I don't know. I kind of felt like I was like, oh, you're taking something away from me. You're taking my love for this realm that you've created, all these planes and stuff. Um, But when I hear someone's story like Glover's, how passionate he was about it and like how it brought him back into the game, and he's an OG, and now he's just like fully back into it, right? But Lord of the Rings helped him get there, And I don't know if you have anything in front of you, but I know that you have some sweet Lord of the Rings cards.
I might have a few. I might have brought a few friends along with me.
Oh,
Got a couple of the serialized, and then I don't have a serialized Elven ring because that's way out of my budget. But I have the Dwarven and the human ring that are both serialized. So, you
I need
know,
my sunglasses looking at those.
bling bling. But yeah, so like, I mean, okay. I mean, and I know we're going to talk about more Lord of the Rings because I do think Lord of the Rings is a very good set. I think there's a
I
lot
think
of
they knocked that
bad
out of the park.
UB sets, right? And we'll talk
Yeah.
about those. The thing that gets me is, do you guys ever wonder, like, when you're like looking at a table and you used to be able to tell a Magic card, right? And now it kind of looks like Comic-Con and Friday Night Magic had a baby on the commander
Yeah.
tables. You ever feel
Yeah.
like that? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, so
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we got Daryl from Walking Dead
yeah,
teaming up with,
dinosaurs. Daryl's dinosaurs.
yeah,
That's right, Daryl and the
Captain
Dinos.
America.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, and I mean, I'm
Yeah.
fully aware that I built that deck, and yeah,
Yeah.
I'm part of the problem. It's not a problem. I mean, yet I think
Yep.
it could become
Yeah.
a much
Well,
It's a
bigger
little bit
issue,
of a
but
conundrum. It's a little bit of a conundrum, I would say, though. Like,
yeah,
Yeah.
because the very thing, like, and I think some of the specific UB set like preference is somewhat generational too, right? Because I'm a bit older than you guys, and I grew up reading Lord of the Rings and watching some of the old movies. I was in college when like the big blockbuster 3.5 hour movies came out. And it was like this big epic experience, and it was just I had so much love for that when I saw that and Magic combined, it was like, oh man, this is
Yeah.
kind of it blew my mind a little bit. Um, but and I'll admit because like some of the other sets, some of the other UB sets, I'm like, just stop, just stop. I've had enough
Yeah.
of Marvel. And
Yeah.
we can talk
Yeah.
more about
Yeah.
that, but like,
Yeah. Yeah.
no, and that's perfect.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Kev.
Sorry, I think that's part of this conversation, right? Is I think the idea behind these UB sets is to widen the audience, right? It's to capture more attention from more players in kind of like-minded communities, right? And I think that's their idea. And I think as far as that's concerned, I think they're doing a great job. We've gotten to the point now that I think we're just so inundated with so many UB sets that it's kind of, it's the majority now, I think. So, I think that's the problem for me. I'm okay with UB. I don't want to cut anybody off.
No.
But I think, we're an attention grabbing society, right? Like, we have short attention spans, myself included. And I think that there's just so much product out there now, and there's so many UB sets that it's getting a bit much. And I feel like I'm kind of losing that. I miss the magic, the original magic kind of storylines and planes and universes and blocks and I feel like, that.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And let's talk about some of the good stuff about UB stuff, right? Like let's not just totally crap on UBs, right? I feel like Universe Beyond sets do a really good job with bringing new players and OG players into the realm of Magic, right?
Yeah.
And it gives them a chance to see their favorite characters come to life and be able to use them as a commander or use them in their decks,
have that role-playing experience.
Yeah, have that role-playing experience, right? Also, it helps creators of the people that make the cards, opens up possibilities, design aspects for them, right? And high collectability, right?
Oh, sure.
Like Glover wanted, he still wants every single Soul Ring, right? You got to finish that collection one day.
That's
You're
right.
going to have all of them. But they're highly collectible. And the hype. How pumped were you when you heard that set was coming out?
Oh, I was crazy excited. And then also to hear the guy from my LGS was like, hey, there's going to be serialized cards in this set. I'm like, I don't know what that means. Tell me what that means. He's like, you could literally get cards that are like, and then he explained how the rings were set up, and it was like it mirrored the quantities of the rings from the books and the movies. And I'm like, man, like from that point, it really was just like, I'm in.
Hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah, I was in. In.
And it's like, I remember everyone and their mother was talking about chasing that one ring, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to Post Malone for buying it.
Posty got
it. Yeah. I remember that hype. That hype was just huge, and then also shot the prices way up, right?
Yep.
I remember when collector booster boxes were like under $300, like $250, $260, $275. And then Lord of the Rings came out, and they told everyone about the one ring, that serialized one. And holy crap, I've never seen just collector boxes were just out of reach for me, at least. I think at that point, I had one child at that point, but still very young.
Rookie numbers.
Yeah.
Bump that.
I got 3 kids now.
I know.
That's
what I'm saying.
I need to slow down.
That's what I'm saying.
But yeah, so it's like, it's not my fault. Back on track here.
Yeah. But yeah, here's the thing, right? Like until recently, I was the GM of a business. And if you think about running a successful business model, your goal is to, I'll say, safely and profitably grow your footprint, right? And if we're looking at UB purely from a business perspective, I think, and I would be curious to see the timing. I don't know when Hasbro bought the organization and made that transition to them. So I don't know if that aligns with some of the UB or if that's a byproduct of like, hey, a couple of years down the road, we're going to work this in. But they've been successful from a business standpoint in creating that hype, creating a bigger footprint, bringing new, not members, but new players and new fans into that world, right? And um, so can't really begrudge them that, I guess. And I'll talk out of both sides of my mouth because it also is like, it's a money grab. It's a money grab. I'm that guy too, right? So it's
Yep.
tough. You know,
Yep.
you got both sides of things. Um, and I think there's probably some of both sides of that to be found truthful. Um, but, you know, it is bringing new people into the game. It is constantly challenging, I would say, even great players to learn new mechanics and new abilities and new strategies and things like that, right? Because I mean, heck, Strixhaven technically dropped today, and there's all sorts of new mechanics and things in that. So we're gonna have to learn some more of that, and
Yeah.
to not be a UB set dropping today. I'm
Yeah,
I
excited
know.
about
right.
I am excited about that. But
Yeah.
just piggybacking on what you just said too is, I mean, talk about airbender, right?
that. Yeah.
Airbending, earthbending,
Yep.
firebending, like
Oh,
all of
yeah.
that mechanic was a new thing. And I was like, excuse you, what are you doing? Like,
Right.
I had to learn all. I mean, I was never a huge airbender guy,
Yeah.
or avatar, excuse me, not airbender,
Yep.
avatar.
I like it,
Um,
but yeah, I don't want that one to cross
yeah.
over. Like, my
So
brother grew up a Final Fantasy fan. He likes Lord of the Rings also, but like when Final Fantasy hit, he was like, "Oh my god!" And I'm like,
yeah,
"Meh," you know.
yeah,
And everybody
Yeah.
went crazy for that, like
Yeah.
equally as crazy as Lord of the Rings, right? Because at that point there was probably an even bigger audience based on generation gap. But for me, I was like, "There's cool cards, but I'm not going to be that ever builds a Sephiroth deck. I'm not. It's no, not my thing."
right.
Yeah.
I have a question for you, Kevin.
Oh, hit me.
What crossover set did you have an eye on? Don't say Lord of the Rings because that's Glover's, but is there a UB is there a UB set that like yeah, what crossover hit you and you're like, man, that's gonna be a good set, or I'm eye
Ooh,
on that one. You can have one.
that's a good question. Hmm. No, I don't think so. Honestly, I mean, if there would be, it would probably be Lord of the Rings, just because that's the one that I'm most familiar. I did not play Final Fantasy. I did not watch Airbender. Um, I watched The Walking Dead, and we built a commander from Walking Dead. But honestly, hmm, I don't know. No, not really. To
And
be honest.
that's the reason why I wanted to ask you that question is because, you know, I, Glover got excited for Lord of the Rings. I know for a fact that you have never, in
Yeah,
the years we've known each other,
yeah,
have never been like, man, I'm super excited for this
yeah.
UB set. Recently, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles came out. Something in my heart started tingling a little bit, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is like, you know. And my middle son Miles and I were watching those movies, and all of a sudden I heard that set was coming out, and I don't know, I was just like, I'm kind of excited for that. And
Yeah.
then, he's a huge Spider-Man guy.
Oh, really? Okay.
He's Miles is 4, uh, and it's debatable that I did name him Miles after Miles Morales, but my wife will deny that.
Cannot confirm.
But he's a huge Spider-Man guy, and I haven't even introduced that set to him because it's so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Talk about
Teenage,
kind of a flop, huh?
yeah, and that's why I was so almost against buying anything Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But I bought that Commander deck, and Miles, he's 4 years old, and he loves to like sit down with me, and he's just like, "Daddy, you played the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles deck," and we'll look through it together. And next time you guys all come over here and we play, cards, I'm sure he'll want to come, sit down and
Yeah.
play with us, and that's awesome
That's
because
cool.
now it's brought my son into the game, which is all I want.
Yep.
I'm sure my wife is happy that I'm going to drag them into this
And she's
nerdy
like,
sport.
college or magic?
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's go Magic.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of why I wanted to ask you that question
Yeah.
because I don't think you've ever been super excited
Yeah.
about anything.
Well, let me just start off by saying that to me, the game itself is the most important thing to me. Just how pieces of cardboard interact with each other and mechanics and keywords and
Yeah.
abilities. That is what really draws me to the game, not the character on the card. although there are some great characters. But to me,
You
it's
do love a kitty cat.
oh, meow. But I will say, like, that is what draws me to the game, and that's what gets my mind kind of like really in the game itself. So, while I love the kind of opening those channels for creating new mechanics and new abilities and kind of new like card design, I to be honest, I kind of care less about who's on the card. So um, that's the most important thing to me. So I think that's why I haven't really been like, oh, I'm really need to. I like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles too.
Yeah.
I like Lord of the Rings too, but I don't you know I don't need a I'm not swooning over Gandalf on the card. It's just the card Gandalf, or
Right.
it's more
It's
about how the pieces interact as far as who the character or
yeah.
the design of the actual art of the card or whatever the
I
character.
think it's a really interesting self-assessment because that's how you build decks too. Like it doesn't matter what the card is, it's what the card does and how does
Yeah,
that develop synergies with other things. And I think that's both a gift and a stumbling block in your deck building sometimes, but we've talked about
definitely.
that a million
Yeah,
times, right? But
yeah,
it's interesting to note too, like I envy that about your deck building and your perspective on Magic at large, for two reasons. One, there's some freedom involved there, I think. Um, as far as like not chasing the $1,000 card, right? Like if the
yeah,
same thing happens on a $1.25 card, perfect, we're gonna grab that. So I certainly envy that. So I'm a guy that does chase a name and like
yeah.
all that. But yeah, it's interesting, man, to note that kind of correlates there and it makes sense.
But it's
Uh,
also like, you talked about growing up poor, right? Like,
Yeah.
um, and now you're in a financial situation where you can chase those expensive cards, right? Like, um, I kind of was in a situation where you were, like I was, previously married, and my ex-wife and I didn't work out, and I had to sell my entire collection back in 2017 ish, probably. And then I stopped playing Magic and Commander for a while. And then this guy just
they always come back.
brought me back. He said, "Come on,
he
buddy."
he is your Gandalf.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
hey,
He should have
reel them in.
should have stood in front of my ex-wife and said, "You shall not pass."
Yeah, you probably should have.
Yeah. Anyways, but so like and I had some sweet cards back then, and I sold a
Yeah.
lot of stuff that I wish I could still have. But now we're here now, and I'm slowly building my bulk back up and my rares, and I don't have any sweet like chase cards yet, but I mean, I'm assuming at one point I will. But
You got some
you
pretty
know,
good stuff.
yeah, I mean, I got my pet deck,
Lightning's pretty
which
good.
is yeah,
Yeah,
lightning is pretty good. My pet deck is
yeah.
pretty blinged out. So I think I only have like 4 more cards I need to bling out, and Magic on Vegas. I could be blinging some cards out there. So,
There we go. MagicCon. Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Let's talk about the bad, right? We talked about the good of UB sets. Let's just harp on it a little bit, right? It deserves it. I think you brought up a good thing, Kevin. It breaks immersion of the realm of Magic for me, right? I don't know how you guys feel about that, but sometimes it just feels like, yeah, I'm not playing Magic anymore. I'm playing a TCG that's Marvel. It's
Right.
even though it feels similar, right? It feels like it looks like a Magic card. If you flip it over, it says Magic the Gathering in that
Yep.
brown with
Yeah.
Wooburg.
5. Yep.
It feels like Magic, right? But
Right.
for me, Magic is, let's go back, right? Let's talk about blocks and sets. That's where we started, right? Like we were in a plane for a year. Like we started out with whatever set we were in, right? Glover, is there a certain set that you just love?
Ooh. Yeah, I mean, I really love Stronghold. I mean, that
Okay.
goes way back.
Yeah,
But I
that's
love
okay.
Stronghold. I stopped playing around the Ravnica block time, so like Ravnica Guild Pact and whatever the third was there. And
Dragon
I liked.
Maze.
Was that what it was?
Yeah, because that's when him and I started playing.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was so good. I even remember the name of it. But
It,
I think Dragon Maze is actually, besides Aether Drift, I'm pretty sure Dragon Maze is considered one of the worst sets ever
yeah.
dropped.
Yeah.
um,
So
but yeah, I mean, like, hell, dude, I was a guy that liked Ice Age though, and I,
yeah,
Yeah.
I thought it was cool at the time. I thought it was a cool concept. They had black borders, and I was like, dang,
hmm
this is really cool. But yeah, I mean, I really loved Stronghold. Like, and then as we get into like, I loved Visions. Visions was a phenomenal
Yeah.
set. Visions, Tempest,
Ooh,
yeah,
Tempest.
that
hmm
period of time in Magic was like, it was powerhouse stuff.
Yeah.
Powerhouse stuff.
And yeah, I mean, those are all great. And I mean, let's talk about, Ravnica. That's kind of like when I first started. But the set that hooked me, and I'm pretty sure it hooked Kevin, was when Theros hit. Theros came out, and Greek mythology. I was playing
Yeah.
God of War at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and Greek
Okay.
mythology. It was super. I don't know. I just went ham on some Theros. And why we're talking about this is because we were in that plane for 1 year. So we went to Theros, right? And then we went into, I believe the next set that came out was Born of the Gods.
One of the gods, maybe, or Journey to Nyx.
It's those two,
One of
but I
the
think it's
yeah.
Born of the Gods and then
Okay.
Journey into Nyx. I'm pretty sure that's the order that it went to. And I loved it, right?
Hmm.
It was so much fun, and it just had like all these gods. Like I believe that's when they first started bringing in gods,
Yeah.
indestructible gods that
Yep.
and we were playing 60 cards back then. We weren't even playing
Yeah.
Commander yet.
Right. Right.
So we were playing Standard. I mean, and we were spending money left and right because Thoughtseize was $20,
Yeah.
Erebos was $20, Perforos was in the high 10, 12, $13, something like that.
Yeah.
Is my
Yep.
guy
Yeah.
Phoenix from that set?
Yeah.
I
He's
believe so.
yeah. Is it Born of the Gods? I think he's from.
I think it's Born of the Gods. So
Okay.
Yeah.
he's
I had
definitely-
I had a 60 card mill deck with Phoenix. Yeah.
Well, he's
it
my
was-
he's my pet
and I
mill
know-
commander.
and I know you have him. Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, I just loved being in that set, right? It was just
Yeah.
that was so much good time. On the flip side of that, right? I understand why WotC or Hasbro, whoever decided to go into this, like not staying in a plane for so long, because you did get that like burnout, right? You're like,
Yeah.
come on, give me something new.
Yep.
Once again, on the flip side, now I feel like they just ram shit down our throats.
Yep.
It does. If like Strixhaven just came out today,
Yep.
guaranteed. What's the next one? Next one is, I think, Marvel. I think it's Avengers.
Marvel's up next. Yep.
Yeah.
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 And then it's
they're
The
gonna be
Hobbit.
starting to.
You're excited
No,
for
it's
The Hobbit?
actually there. I think Star
The
Trek
sh-
comes out before The Hobbit.
Oh.
Oh. Okay. Anyways, I know they're doing 2 UB sets before they give us, I think, Fractured.
Yeah. Is it Fracture Reality?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Fractured Reality.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know we're getting 2 UB sets before that. So,
Okay.
but regardless, is Strixhaven just came out. I guarantee 3 weeks from now, there's a spoiler.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Someone's
Oh
gonna
yeah.
drop something, and
Oh,
we're gonna go right
and-
into Marvel.
I
Even-
think when we're at
it's
MagicCon,
MagicCon,
they're gonna spoil something. I
Yep.
think. No
Yeah,
doubt.
Magic-
And that drives me nuts. Like,
Yep. Yep.
it's not enough that you're ramming it down the throat. Like, you're gonna just show the entire set 2 months before it comes out, anyways. Like, what's the point?
Exactly.
to raise the prices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just I
Yep.
don't know that as an old timer Magic player and a consumer, that drives me nuts. Like,
Yep.
I realize I'm a hypocrite, right? Because I spent stupid amounts of money on the Lord of the Rings set, but I was also buying them at like $23 for a collector booster. So it's kind of relative. Now when you're picking up like $120 for the same collector booster, it's supply and demand somewhat. But yeah, just to go back to like the block conversation, I can see it kind of mirrors like society too in general, right? Like if we're in the Amazon era, let's call it, right, where we have instant gratification. We can order something today and it might even be here today, if not tomorrow.
Yep.
It sort of follows the same progression of like, hey, let's go, let's turn and burn, let's make the most that we can out of this. But yeah, it's a little nauseating every now and then.
Yeah. And that's another bad point that I think it's IP overload.
Yep.
We're just getting so much
Inundated with it. Yeah.
Yeah, inundated with just like different stuff that's, not owned by Magic, but they collaborate with Magic, and then they're like, leak this, leak that for a reason. I know they're doing it for a reason. No one leaks things for no reason.
No.
That's not a thing.
No.
Like, I just feel like, yeah, we can't even breathe. Like, I'm so excited. I was excited for Lorwyn. When Lorwyn came out,
yeah.
I was juiced. Then Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was just like, oopsies. We're just going to drop this.
Yeah. When did Lauren come out? That was, what was that?
Right before Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
2 months ago? 1 month?
Yeah, 2.5 months ago, something like that. Maybe 3.
It feels like it's been a year. I feel like I was so, I mean, I just built a deck that has a lot of Lauren cards, the new Lauren cards in there, and it feels like it's been,
deck?
yeah,
Nice.
yeah. But it just feels like it's been so long ago because we're just getting slammed over the head with new product, and I think that's, we're in an attention grab world nowadays, right? Everything, like you said, Glover, instant gratification, need it now. We don't want to wait, and I think, it's kind of, yeah, we're getting just hit over the head with it, and I think that to me is the interesting part is like, how do we relate our lives to this game? And, to me, I kind of just almost tune out, really. And if I see a cool card, I'll come back to it, when I'm ready. It's,
I mean, you almost have to, especially with like all the hype, right? Like all the hype that hits, and I know they do it on purpose to hype it up, and then, the cards are inflated, and then, give it time, and then the card prices drop, and
let them regulate themselves a little bit.
Yeah. You and I just experienced that. We bought the same exact card. I was just going to bring this up because I was building a new deck, and this fit into my deck so well. It's the card Cool But Rude from Teenage Mutant Turtles.
Yeah.
I was so excited for this card. It fits so well in my Captain Howler deck, right? Discarding cards. You're going to take 2 damage, everybody. Please, I will put this. So that card was $17.99. I said, that's a good deal. I'll buy it because that card is a slamming good card in my deck. And it wasn't bad. 2 weeks later, Kevin said, well, I just bought a Cool But Rude for $7.
Yep.
I went on yesterday. It's now at $5.
Yeah, I remember telling you the price that I paid for mine, and you were pretty upset.
I was pissed.
And that just happens. Sometimes you buy low and you get a great return on it, and sometimes you buy high and it drops, and that's just kind of.
Well, and a lot of my cards right now are traded. Like I trade to get cards I want. I don't I'm not rebuying a lot of Magic. I'm just like trading stuff in. So like when that price takes away from my trade, I kind of get bitter and salty about it.
Sure.
Because like that's $12 that I lost,
Right.
That's a decent card I could have got. That's another, I could have got my reconnaissance that I wanted or something like that, for my birds deck.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
But it's just, it's one of those things, you get what you pay for sometimes, and sometimes the hype is real. I don't know.
Yeah. Totally agreed.
I have a question, Glover.
All right.
Do you think Wizards is using IPs because they're running out of they're running out of things to make? Like, do you think they're collaborating more and more and more because they're running out of stuff to?
So I'll say yes, but no, or no, but yes. I don't think they're running out of ideas. I think that these ideas are already out there and people already love them. So they're like, cool, let's just fold it in, make it a set, right? We don't have to do I mean, we don't have to duplicate a ton. Like, there's art to be made, there's some mechanics to be worked out, but conceptually, like the themes are already there. The colors are most likely aligned based on what you're seeing in the movies and the comic books and whatever else. So I don't think they're running out of ideas. I think these ideas are just easier. And where the sets that are homegrown, like Strixhaven that just came out, right? So it's a harkening back to the original Strixhaven set, but it's like an actual core Magic set. I think those take more time to flesh out and develop and build the characters around and build ideas and thematics around that. So I don't think they're necessarily running out of ideas. I think these are just like, hey, these are easy, quick hits that we can make a ton of money on while we're building the other sets.
Gotcha. Yeah. I agree. I was just, curious on other people's thoughts about that. Yeah, I think that I'm hoping that Magic still is in there, right? They still have new stuff. I know, you know, the Fractured Reality is coming out, and it's supposed to be like they can't believe they pulled it off kind of situation is what I heard. So I'm excited
Yeah.
to see it, and I've heard the rumors that Jace Belran might be white. So
Yeah.
he
It's
he
going
was
to be
spot
interesting.
Yep.
he was spotted in white robes, and that would blow my mind. So, um, so yeah, I mean, I'm hoping it's still there. One more thing I want to talk about for bad, right? Is the power creep concerns that I have.
Yeah, big time.
So we play commander, right? So thinking of commanders, commanders in your head of like just like super powerful commanders from the UB sets. Like some of them are just OP. I'm just gonna say it.
Oh,
I played against a Captain America deck, and that thing was disgusting. You can just attach big old freaking, doesn't matter what equipment it is. The
yeah.
bigger the better. And then you just unequip that shit and hit them in the face for that amount. It's
Oh.
just,
Yep.
and I get it. But at the same time, it's like, I understand Captain America is supposed to be like this superhero, amazing person, but Jesus, like playing against it's crazy. Um, you know, Lord of the Rings, right? There's a couple ones that stick out in my mind. Sauron, right?
This bad boy.
Yeah, Aragon. I was gonna
Yeah.
say, do you have another one?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, Aragon. He is. I mean, what colors is he again? He's red.
Aragorn,
Same.
everything but
Yeah.
black.
Everything but black.
Oh, he's 4 colors.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, he's a four
nice.
color.
Yep.
Yep.
That's right. Everything but black. I mean, geez.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I think that's partially on purpose, right? Because, you do need these kind of grand cards to capture attention, even if they have no previous experience into Magic, when you look at the card, right? More colors, the better, usually. And you need to have powerful effects. And I think, really, I think it's just, now that Wizards is designing for Commander, the design itself is now more suited for Commander. It's just more powerful. And it needs to be. It's a higher life format. There's 4 players, 3 opponents, right? So, or more. I guess sometimes we play with 5. But I think that's just kind of the game in itself. The game is way different today than it was 10 years ago. It's sure there's a lot of the same keywords, mechanics, things like that. But it's just it's different. And I think they're especially with these kind of UB commanders, they're really trying to like kind of make this big impression to capture the attention of people. So
do you guys
I
feel
think
like
you're
they're
right.
just? Do you guys feel like they're overpowered though? Like, do you guys feel like they need to, or is that like they have to be?
well, let me
Me,
go ahead, Glover.
I would just say, like, for me, it kind of begs the question of when will enough be enough?
Mm.
Like, because you can only, I don't know, I think you wind up forcing yourself into, and I'm speaking, I guess, collectively for Watsy or whomever, like you force yourself into putting more and more sets out to create more power creep. by creating more power creep, right? So it's
Right.
a perpetuated cycle, and it's
Yep.
even in the few years, 4 years almost, that I've been back into it, I've seen so much of it. I'm like, when will enough be enough? Like,
Yeah.
just good Lord, when will enough be enough?
Yeah. Well, we've actually had we've had an episode about our keywords, right?
Yeah.
And in that episode, we talked about like back in my day. I remember when like
Not date ourselves, but
yeah, exactly. I remember when like a 4 drop was like
It's a big deal.
great.
with the keyword would be like,
Yeah, would be phenomenal.
you're feeling good.
Yeah.
And then now it's
Yeah.
like if it doesn't have trample, haste, and ward 4, and it's
Yeah.
not like a 6/7.
Yeah. Yeah. If it doesn't say when this creature deals damage to an opponent, they lose the game.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I read some of these cards and I'm like, excuse you, what?
Yeah.
I'm like,
Right.
some of the cards you pulled today.
Oh, unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I was telling my wife that I'm like, I have never owned a single copy of a Jessica's Will. I pulled the Japanese alt art one today, not the Silver Scroll foil,
Beautiful.
sadly. It is a beautiful card, but I'm like, this card could not have existed in 60 card format. In standard, like, there's no way.
No.
And I was going to bring that up. Like, you think
It
about the
does now.
combos that exist now.
does now.
Yeah, it does now. But if you think about the combos that exist now, right? Even the most basic of combos with like a Painter Servant and a Grindstone, which is an older combo.
Yeah.
But like the first combo that I ever saw in person, and it blew my mind. I can remember this guy, Steve, that played with us, and he had a powerful green-red deck, and it was all like life gain, direct damage, life gain, direct damage. And he broke out a Channel Fireball. And I was like, what the hell just happened? Like, just
That's
there's
cheating.
the game. I'm like, what is this? And I remember him.
I want to know what year this was because
Yeah.
those are both banned. But
Yeah. So this was in 1994.
oh, never mind.
But I remember Steve, like, I'm just looking at him, and he was a guy that was like, I was a freshman, he was a senior. But he actually slowed down. He's like, hey, this is how that works. This is why that works. I can't believe more of these guys aren't playing that. And it just blew my mind because I'm like, I had never considered it, but I wasn't even playing at the time. But it was still just like such a thing. But now, like, could you get away with that? Well, no, because they're banned.
Right.
But like, that wouldn't even cut the mustard these days.
100%. And I think, I mean, that's why they are unbanning cards, right?
Yeah.
Like there's a couple cards that I wish could come off the unbanned list. Come on, Primeval Titan. You can come off. Come on.
Prime time.
Yeah. Give me a Grizzlebrand.
Yeah.
I agree. There is so much removal and interactions in the realm of Commander. I have zero. Okay, there are cards where I'm just like, okay, they deserve to be banned.
Sure.
They just are feel bads. It just doesn't work, or it, like can't remember that one white.
Is it Iona?
Yeah, Iona.
Yeah, there's just social.
Shield of the Maria?
There's a social
where she just like
dilemma
blocks
around
off
it, right?
colors, right? That's a feel bad situation.
Yeah.
That's like you're just trying to be mean.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
and they weren't thinking probably collectively for Commander players when they made that card, or maybe they were, and they're like, whatever. We'll...
Yeah, and in 60 card, who's gonna spend what 8 mana, 9 mana? What's Iona?
She's expensive. I know that.
I think she's 7.
Yeah,
is that
I've got one. I'll have to track her now. She's 7 or 8, I think.
Yeah. Oh, you mean this old thing?
She's floating around somewhere.
Yeah.
That'd have been epic.
Yeah.
This guy, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But
yeah,
if we think about like having the banned list in a world where counter magic is expanded beyond the borders of just blue, like it's heavily focused in blue, but counter magic exists in other colors on the Luberg scale, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Having a banned list, but not banning some of the cards that could cripple through counter magic, like it just doesn't make tons of sense.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be a ton of standard decks that are going to be coming out from Strixhaven with all of these Ancestral Recall.
Oh, 1,000,000%.
Are you kidding me?
I pulled the black one today that's got the demonic tutor
Dark
kicker
Tutor.
in it.
You got the Swords to Plowshare one too.
Yep.
Yeah. Got 2 copies of that one.
All of those cards are now in standard.
Right.
It's crazy.
Someone's about to
Yeah,
break
that's-
something.
yeah.
Something's going to come out where it's just going to
Yeah.
be like, because they can have 4 copies of that. Commander
Right.
players can't, but
Well,
still, like,
and you could have 4 copies of that and 4 demonic tutors, which is crazy.
8 copies of it.
yeah,
Right. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's gonna be a fun time. I'm actually like looking forward to like watching some like tournament play when we're in Vegas to kind of see.
Yeah.
To see how what decks are going crazy and whatnot.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that it spikes some of my cards in price because I own a bunch of the original copies, but
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. No, I mean, let's just go back, right? So like this whole power creep thing, right? That is, I think this format is so cool, and I'm gonna solely relate here to Commander, but this Commander is a self-equalizing format. If you're running something super powerful, like Wizards is printing, cards are only getting better, and they're more suited and designed for Commander itself. It's not a one-on-one format, right? It's a there's this ability to
don't play one-on-one,
right?
But
yeah, right. That's what I think is that I really love about this format is that like it doesn't really matter. I don't want to say it doesn't matter. It kind of doesn't matter how powerful things are because either people are going to match that power level, or you have you have the politic, that you can do. You can politic and you can say, you know what, it's okay, we can take care of this. And I think that's the really cool thing is it's kind of a self-equalizing format, really. And then as far as like power creep goes, I think that's just human nature. We strive to become more efficient, right, in everything that we do. We want to find the things that the path of least resistance, right? And we want to, I think that's just human nature, right? We always want the most powerful thing, the most this, the most that. And I think
for our buck, sure.
That's exactly right. And I think I don't see that slowing down. And that's why this format today looks so different than it did 5 years ago, 10 years ago. And I it's kind of got my wheels turning as to where it's going to be in 5 years because.
Do you think? I'm going to ask this question now. Do you think that UB sets are a phase, or are they the future?
I mean, UB's been around for what, 4, maybe almost 5 years at this point in time. So I would think.
I would say heavily yes.
Yeah.
Plus or minus.
In that light, it's probably a little more than a phase. I would like it to be something that phases out, to be honest.
The phase protection, those UB.
Yeah.
But yeah, as long as they're making more Avengers movies and Marvel movies and whatever else, there's always going to be, because you still have a ton of things that are not tapped into yet, right? Like, so Lorcana made a good run at it, but they're piddling out pretty quickly from what I've heard and seen. So at what point does WotC, Hasbro, whomever reach out to Disney? Hey, let's bring some of that in, right? And that taps into an entirely different crazy market of spiky, frosted tip, blonde haired moms. Like, it's just going to get nuts. But that's the goal.
Yeah. You know what? Little side not a side tangent, but like how I got Marco into this game. He actually wanted to play Lorwyn. Both of our wives love Disney. I love Disney too. I love taking my kids there. It's a magical time. It's fun. I'm not a huge fanatic, but I like it. Marco was like, dude, Lorwyn, let's play it. Like, this thing came out. It's Disney. It's it's kind of like Magic, because he knew I play Magic, and I was like, nah, I'm good. I don't. I don't play Pokemon. I mean, besides video games and like Pokemon Go, I don't play the card game. I don't collect them. I don't play Yu-Gi-Oh. Like it's just not my thing. Okay,
Yep.
I'm not hating on them. It's just not my thing. So he bought me like a starter deck, and he's like, "We're gonna play." We never did, and it's just sitting in my desk right now. Still, I still have it. I've never once played it. And you're right. There was like a huge hype. Like you couldn't find Lorwyn anywhere.
Yeah.
And now it's like just inundated. Like you can go to any Target, you can go to any LGS, and it's just like a
Yeah, it's
crap
just
ton of
Lorcana
Lorwyn.
sitting on the shelf.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, I'm not Lorwyn, Lorcana. Excuse me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
We knew what you meant.
We knew what you
Exactly.
meant, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just so insignificant that it's all
Yeah.
just going Lorwyn.
You just love Lorwyn, don't
Yeah,
you?
I do love Lorwyn.
Yeah.
That
me
was
too.
that was a great planes for me. I love the merfolk. You know me and elves. Are you joking?
You are an
Yeah.
elf player.
Oh my god.
Elves,
Both of you
merfolk,
both of you guys
shapeshifters.
over there.
Fairies.
Yeah.
Come on.
Changelings, you know.
Oh my.
You know me. Lever, you haven't seen it yet, but you will soon.
Yeah, buddy. I got some cards for you. It's gonna be fun.
Just people helping people.
Kifkin.
Yeah,
Yeah,
forget-
lots of
Kifkin.
Kifkin.
We
Yeah.
can't forget the Kifkin out there.
Exactly.
Got to give them some love. They don't get much love, but
Exactly.
But yeah,
okay.
I think I threw us on a tangent, but yeah, like
That's okay.
you know, as
We
far
don't have
as
rules
like,
here at Top
no,
Deck Therapy. There's
phase
no
or
rules.
Yeah.
phase or future. I don't know that I would call it the future. I think it's in a really heavily evolving CCG landscape. I'll say it's probably a necessary evil to some degree. Yeah, and we don't have to like it, but I don't see it going away, unfortunately.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm okay with it being around. I'm just hoping that it slows down a little bit. I'm not saying we need to go back to like the Walking Dead, like just a secret lair, but you know,
One a year.
Yeah, one a year.
One UB a year.
Yep.
Yeah, one UB, possibly two. One at the beginning, one at the end.
Okay.
If you want to if you want to
Go
cut
Christmas and summer break.
Exactly.
Like,
there you go.
Whatever.
100%. And then yeah, do if you really want to do more secret layers. Like, I'm a huge Sonic the Hedgehog fan. I bought the secret layer.
You banging deck, Mr. Eggman.
Yeah, my Eggman deck. Whew, that's a good deck.
Good.
I like it.
Pretty good.
I know, and I just pulled the Krang.
I was
from,
gonna say, yeah.
Ninja Turtle.
Yeah.
So I was not about to buy that, but I bought 2 packs, and I was like, "You got to be shitting me! I have some good luck, and I guess whatever." But yeah, I just put that in the deck, so you'll be seeing that at MagicCon.
Nice.
But yeah, so I just feel like it's. Yeah, I would have to agree with you guys. I think it's not a phase. It's going to be here. I just hope it slows down a little bit. Like, I hope that all of it slows down a little bit. Like, stop.
Yeah.
How many sets should come out in a year? What would be the
4.
perfect amount? 4? Yep. So are you thinking
once
like
a quarter.
seasonal, right? Yep, exactly. So you're thinking like a winter, summer, spring, and fall, right?
Yep. And I think you can have a couple of supplemental, if you wanted to, secret layers, if you wanted to throw those in there too. Yeah, I mean, look, this is a hobby, right? I think we need to be mindful of how we interact with it. And I think it's okay to, if we're feeling overwhelmed, to take a step back and, really kind of think hard about how much time and energy and effort we want to put into some of these sets that we may not be excited about. I play this game because it's fun. I love the game. I love the design. I love the cardboard. I love playing with my friends. And it's okay if you are overwhelmed by the just massive amount of cardboard that's coming at us. And I think we need to kind of just pay attention and see how we're interacting with the game. And if something catches your eye, awesome. Go all in, and if you're into something, I think you should do it. And if you're not, it's okay to take a step back. So that's kind of my stance on it. Especially going forward. I don't think it's going anywhere. I think it's kind of the future. I agree. I hope it slows down a little bit. I hope there's more magic, like it's like actual magic, kind of the old magic lore. A little bit of a side tangent here. Is there a magic movie or film series or show? I
Not
think
that
it
I'm
would
aware
be
of.
phenomenal. I mean, the
Oh
story, the lore, the planes.
I think there's books
There's
and like
There's lots of books.
lots of books.
uh,
Yep, I've read some.
So graphic novel type of
Yep.
stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it would be phenomenal, like to grow the audience that way. Again, we're we're kind of this attention seeking society now, right? And I think just getting people sucked into a show, like, come on, Netflix, give us a show on magic, right? And I think that would kind of inspire some of these, the older generation of magic. There's a lot of nostalgia there, but also I feel like it could get really people that are just into fantasy itself, kind of hooked in as well.
Yeah.
I don't know how feasible that is as far as financial. I'm not the guy for that. But I think it would be really cool. And I think I kind of miss the design of magic itself. And I actually get really excited when there is an actual in plane magic set like Lorwyn or Strixhaven, because it's almost shocking to me because of how much UB is out there right now.
Yeah. Kind of refreshing.
Yeah. Yeah. And so
I know, and I'm so excited to be back in Strixhaven. I know we've talked about it a bunch tonight, but like that set was so good.
yeah,
It was sick. It was
Oh
so
my God,
good.
it was so good. And when it first came out, I was skeptical. I was like, "What is this?" It's kind of like a sub Harry Potter
yeah.
theme. Like,
Yeah.
what are you trying to do to me? And then like by the time we were done, like looking over the cards, playing with the cards, I bought a box. I cracked a bunch of it.
Yeah.
Those I think, what are they called? Archive? Is that what they're called? The archive cards? Those specialty ones. I can't remember. There's like a name for them, but like,
yeah. I think you're right. I think it's archive.
yeah, those cards were like in every pack, and I was like, oh my God, and I pulled a tainted pack or tainted
Nice.
pact, and I was like, man, this card's so good. And I traded Leone for an Atraxas because I was like, oh, I want an Atraxas deck. And he's like, oh, I'll trade you.
Not that Atraxa deck.
Yeah, it wasn't. And then yeah, we ended up trading, and I got an Atraxa, and then I sold my Atraxa, but. But yeah, I was super excited. I'm excited for this one. Yeah, I can't wait to crack some packs and see what we get at MagicCon because
coming up.
Yeah,
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Soon. 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Today?
2 weeks from today. Yeah, we'll be there.
I know.
We'll be there.
It's gonna be a fun time. But yeah, so whether you love the UB sets, welcome to Magic. I'm glad that UB has brought you to us, growing the community. Whether you hate UB, let us know in the comments. If you're on the left or the right or up or the down, doesn't really matter. We're all here as a community, and that's Object Therapy.
Top Therapy.